My family made me babysit every holiday because I don't have kids, so it doesn't matter. But when I lost my apartment, nobody wanted to give me a place to crash for a week. Later, they dropped their kids at my new place, so I gave them a reality check, and now my parents are saying I'm being dramatic. Hey Reddit, buckle the freak up because I'm about to tell you a story about how my family treated me like free childcare for years, then threw me to the wolves when I actually needed help, and when they tried to pull the same after I got back on my feet. Well, let's just say they got a reality check that's still echoing through the family group chat. So, I'm 29, single, no kids, and apparently in my family, that automatically makes me the designated babysitter for every single holiday, birthday party, random Tuesday, and basically any time my siblings need someone to watch their spawns. I've got two brothers, Daniel, 34, and Derek, 32, and a sister, Jenna, 27. Between the three of them, they've churned out 6 kids ranging from 2 to 9 years old. 6. That's a whole basketball team with a sub. Let me paint you the picture of how this started. It was Thanksgiving about 5 years ago. I showed up at my parents' house, ready to eat some turkey, drink something, watch some football. You know, normal Thanksgiving. But the second I walked through the door, Jenna handed me her then 3-year-old and her baby like I was a freaking coat rack. Perfect timing. Can you watch Lily and Mason while we get dinner ready? I stood there holding these kids like, okay, I guess. Figured it was just for a bit while they set the table or whatever. 2 hours later, I'm in the basement playing with blocks and changing diapers, while everyone else is upstairs having a grand old time, eating appetizers, drinking stuff, having actual adult conversations. When I finally came upstairs, with both kids crying and needing their mom, Jenna looked at me like I'd interrupted something important. You couldn't keep them entertained for a little longer? We were just getting relaxed. That became the pattern. Every single holiday, I'd show up and within 10 minutes I'd have kids handed off to me, like I was running a free daycare service. Christmas, here's 3 kids to watch while we open presents. Easter, take the kids on an egg hunt while the adults have mimosas. 4th of July, keep the kids away from the fireworks while everyone else drinks and has fun. The excuse was always the same. You don't have kids, so you don't understand how exhausting it is. We need a break. Or my personal favorite, it doesn't really affect you since you don't have your own responsibilities. Doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect me. I had a full-time job as an IT systems administrator, was trying to build up my own freelance consulting business on the side, and had my own stuff to deal with. But because I didn't have kids, apparently, my time was worth nothing. Let me break down exactly how exhausting this became. Your average family gathering would go like this. I'd show up, usually bringing something, a dish, drinks, whatever. Within literal minutes, the kids would be handed off to me. Not asked. Handed off like I'm a freaking coat check service at a restaurant. Oh, good. You're here. Can you keep an eye on them? And here's the thing. It wasn't just keeping an eye on them. It was full-service childcare. Feeding them, changing diapers, breaking up fights, cleaning up messes, dealing with meltdowns. All while my siblings and their spouses socialized, drank, ate hot food, and actually enjoyed themselves. I remember one time, I think it was Easter 2 years ago, I spent 4 straight hours watching all the kids in my parents' backyard. All 6 of them. Ages ranged from 18 months to 8 years old. You know what happened during those 4 hours? The 18-month-old peed himself. The 3-year-old threw up after eating too many jelly beans. 2 of the older kids got into a fight over a toy that resulted in one of them getting a bloody nose. And the other 2 decided it would be fun to dig up a section of my mom's garden with sticks. I dealt with all of it solo. Nobody came to check on me. Nobody offered to tap in. Nobody even brought me a freaking something to drink. When I finally came inside around 6:00 p.m., exhausted and covered in various bodily fluids, my family was doing Easter egg hunt photos. They'd already done the hunt without the kids. Just took photos of the pretty eggs they'd hidden for Instagram. The actual kids never even got to participate because I couldn't wrangle 6 children through an egg hunt by myself. When I pointed this out, Jenna said, and I quote, "We didn't want to bother you. You seemed like you had everything under control." Under control? I had chocolate handprints on my shirt, grass stains on my jeans, and was pretty sure I pulled a muscle in my back from carrying 2 kids at once. But sure, totally under control. Daniel was the worst about it. He's got 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. The boys are freaking terrors, man. Like, I'm talking climbing on furniture, throwing food, screaming for no reason type of terrors. His wife, Emily, would drop them off at family events and immediately disappear to help in the kitchen, which really meant drink something with my mom and sister while I refereed a WWE SmackDown in the living room. These kids had zero discipline. None. Daniel and Emily were classic gentle parenting types. You know, the kind who think setting boundaries is traumatic and saying no will damage their kids' self-esteem. So instead, their kids just ran completely feral, and I was expected to deal with the consequences. His oldest, Braden, yes, with a Y, was 7 and had the attention span of a goldfish on cocaine. The kid could not sit still for more than 30 seconds. Every family gathering was him running around, knocking things over, jumping off furniture, and generally causing chaos. I once watched him kick over a full bowl of chips and dip onto my parents' white carpet, then just walk away like nothing happened. When I tried to get him to help clean it up, he told me, "That's not my job," and ran off. Kid was 7 years old and already had the entitlement of a trust fund kid. His middle kid, Jaden, because of course all their kids have rhyming names, was 5 and had the worst tantrums I've ever witnessed. We're talking full-on meltdowns over the smallest things. Someone looked at his toy. Tantrum. Time to eat food that isn't chicken nuggets. Tantrum. Asked to use his inside voice. Tantrum. And these weren't cute little kid tantrums. These were full-body, screaming, throwing, hitting tantrums that lasted 20 to 30 minutes. And Daniel and Emily's response, "He's processing his big feelings. No, he's being an and you're enabling it." The girl, Kaden, I freaking know, right, was 3 and was slightly better, but still exhausting. She was in that phase where she wanted you to play the same game over and over and over. "Aunt Thelma, watch this." She'd do a spin. "Watch this." Same spin. "Watch this." Same freaking spin for literal hours. If you stopped watching, tears. If you watched your phone for even a second, tears. If you suggested a different activity, tears. One time at Daniel's birthday party, his own freaking birthday party, he handed me Jaden and said, "Hey sis, can you take him for a bit? I want to actually enjoy my party." The kid immediately threw up on my brand new shirt, a shirt I literally just bought that week for like $60. When I brought him back to Daniel covered in puke, he goes, "Ah, man, that sucks. You should probably take him outside so he doesn't get anyone else sick." Then he walked away. Didn't offer to take his own kid, didn't apologize, didn't offer to pay for the shirt cleaning. Just left me standing there covered in toddler puke at a party I didn't even want to attend. I ended up spending the rest of that party in Daniel's backyard with a puking 5-year-old, while everyone else sang happy birthday and ate cake inside. By the time the kid felt better and we came back in, the cake was gone. Not a single person saved me a slice. When I mentioned it, Emily said, "Oh, we didn't know when you'd be back in." I was in the backyard. You could see me through the freaking window. Derek was more passive-aggressive about it. He'd be like, "Oh, sis, I wish I could help with the kids, but my back is killing me." Or, "I'd love to watch them, but I've got to help Dad with something real quick." That real quick would turn into an hour of him and Dad watching TV while I'm stuck with his daughter. The breaking point was last Christmas. I showed up at my parents' house at 2 p.m., like everyone else. By 2:15 p.m., I had all 6 kids dumped on me. All 6. My parents, siblings, and their spouses all went into the living room to drink and socialize. I was in the den with 6 children under 10, one of whom was in diapers, 2 who were fighting over toys, 1 who wouldn't stop crying for her mom, and 2 who decided it would be fun to gang up on the younger ones. I spent 4 freaking hours watching these kids. Missed Christmas dinner because by the time I got them settled enough to leave, dinner was over and they were just clearing plates. When I asked if anyone saved me a plate, my mom said, "Oh, honey, we thought you already ate with the kids." I ate dry turkey and cold mashed potatoes standing at the counter at 7 p.m. on Christmas while my family sat around playing Cards Against Humanity without even noticing I'd been absent the entire evening. But here's where it gets really good, or really bad, depending on how you look at it. About 2 months after that disaster Christmas, my apartment building got condemned. I'm not kidding. The whole freaking building got red tagged by the city because the landlord had been ignoring some serious structural issues. Apparently, the foundation had cracks. There was water damage in the walls, potential mold issues, the whole 9 yards. We all got 2 weeks' notice to GFO. I'd been saving up for a down payment on a condo, had about $8,000 in my savings account, but it wasn't quite enough yet. Finding a new apartment on short notice meant I'd need first month, last month security deposit. We're talking $4,500 to $5,000 minimum. That would wipe out more than half my savings and set my home buying plans back by at least a year. The timing couldn't have been worse. I'd been busting my ass at work, pulling extra hours to build up that freelance business on the side. I was so close to having enough for a down payment, so close to finally having something that was truly mine. And then boom, condemned building, forced to move immediately. All my plans derailed. I tried to look at it rationally. Okay, I need a temporary solution. Just a week or two to find a good place without rushing into a shitty lease out of desperation. I'd been there for my family countless times. Surely they'd understand. Surely they'd help. So I thought, you know what? I've been there for my family every single time they needed something. Surely they'd let me crash on a couch for like a week or two while I found a good place without having to rush into a shitty lease. I wasn't asking for money. I wasn't asking for long-term housing. Just a temporary spot to sleep while I figured it out. Hell, I'd even offered to pay rent for the 2 weeks. I just needed somewhere safe to crash that didn't require me to drain my entire savings account in a panic. I called Daniel first. The conversation went like this. Hey sis, so my building got condemned and... Oh, that sucks, dude. Yeah, so I was wondering if I could maybe crash with you guys for like a week while I find a new place. Long pause. Like, uncomfortably long. I could hear Emily talking in the background. Then, I don't think that's going to work. We've got the kids, and Emily's sister is actually staying with us right now, and it's already pretty cramped. You understand, right? Emily's sister. This woman was visiting from out of state for a freaking vacation. She was staying in their guest room, the same guest room I'd helped Daniel paint 2 years ago. But sure, I understand. What about the couch? I asked, trying to keep my voice level. I literally just need a couch for a week. I'll be gone before anyone wakes up and won't come back until after work. You won't even know I'm there. Yeah, but Emily's really sensitive about her space right now, with her sister being here and the kids and everything. You know how she gets. It's not personal, sis. Not personal, right? Because being told you're not worth the space of a freaking couch is super impersonal. I called Derek next. Got a similar response. Sis, I wish I could help, but Vanessa's been really stressed lately, and having someone else in the house would just add to that. You know how it is. No, Derek. I don't know how it is, because when you needed someone to watch your kid every other weekend for 3 months straight while Vanessa was having stress issues, I showed up without complaint. Every single weekend, for 3 months, I watched your daughter from Friday night to Sunday afternoon, fed her, bathed her, put her to bed, entertained her, took her to the park, all while you and Vanessa went to couples therapy and worked on your relationship. I never complained once, never asked for gas money, never asked for food money, never even asked for a thank you. But now Vanessa's too stressed for me to sleep on a couch for a week. F with that. Then I called Jenna. She at least had the decency to sound guilty. I'm sorry, I just don't think it's a good idea with the kids. They're at that age where they need routine and structure, and having someone else here would disrupt that. Plus, we only have the 2 bedrooms. I'm sure Mom and Dad would help, though. Routine and structure. Her kids who had 0 routine or structure because she let them run wild at every family gathering. But suddenly they need consistency when it means helping me. Cool, cool, cool. Spoiler alert. Mom and Dad did not help. When I called them, my dad was blunt. Daughter, your mother and I are too old to have someone else living here. We value our privacy and our quiet time. You're almost 30. You should have enough saved up for situations like this. My parents. The same people who let my 34-year-old brother stay with them for 6 months rent-free when he needed to figure things out after college. The same people who had a whole finished basement that was just sitting empty because they used it for storage. But I'm 29, so apparently I don't deserve the same consideration. My mom tried to soften it. Honey, maybe this is a good opportunity for you to finally grow up and handle adult responsibilities on your own. You've been coasting for a while, and sometimes life throws us curveballs to help us mature. Coasting. I'd been working full-time since I was 22. Had never asked them for money. had been financially independent for years, had paid off my student loans, maintained good credit, saved money responsibly. But sure, Mom, I'm the one who needs to mature. So, there I was. No place to stay. Family that couldn't be bothered to help. I ended up sleeping in my car for 3 nights while my stuff sat in a storage unit. Then I found a room to rent week by week in this sketchy house with 2 other people until I could save up enough to get into a proper apartment. Those 2 months were brutal. The house was in a rough neighborhood. One of my roommates was dealing drugs out of her bedroom. The other one would blast music until 3 a.m. I had to keep my laptop and valuables in my car because I didn't trust anyone. I'd wake up, go to work, come back, lock my door, and basically live like I was in prison. During this time, did my family check in? Did they ask if I was okay? Did they offer any help? Freaking crickets. It took me 2 months to save up enough to get into a decent apartment. Found a place about 30 minutes from where my parents lived. 1 bedroom, nothing fancy, but it was mine and it was in a safe neighborhood. I spent the first week just enjoying the peace and quiet. No drug dealers, no screaming music, no kids, just me, my stuff, and the beautiful sound of silence. Then, about 3 weeks after I'd moved in, I came home from work on a Friday afternoon around 5:30 p.m. I pulled into my apartment complex parking lot, and there's Daniel's minivan parked in front of my building. I had a bad feeling immediately. I walked up to my apartment door, and there they were. Daniel, Emily, and their 3 kids sitting in the hallway outside my apartment. "Hey, there you are," Daniel said like this was totally normal. "We tried calling, but you didn't answer." I definitely saw those calls and definitely ignored them. "We need a huge favor." Emily jumped in. "My mom fell and broke her hip, so we need to drive up to Albany to help her out. We'll be gone for the weekend, back Sunday night. You don't mind watching the kids, right?" I just stood there staring at them. Their kids were pulling snacks out of their backpacks. "You're kidding, right?" I said. "What do you mean?" Daniel looked genuinely confused. "It's just for the weekend. We already packed their stuff." He gestured to 3 duffel bags on the ground. "You drove to my apartment, didn't call ahead, didn't ask if I was available, and just assumed I'd watch your kids for an entire weekend." "Well, yeah," Emily said like I was being dense. "You don't have plans. You never have plans. And it's family. We help each other out." That's when something inside me just snapped. "We help each other out," I said, my voice getting louder. "We help each other out. Where was this energy 2 months ago when I needed a place to sleep for a week?" Daniel had the audacity to look annoyed. "That was different. We had Emily's sister staying with us on vacation." I cut him off. "She was on vacation, but apparently a tourist gets priority over your sister who was sleeping in her freaking car." "You were sleeping in your car?" Emily looked shocked like this was new information. "Yes, Emily, I was sleeping in my car because none of you could spare a couch for a week, but now you want me to watch 3 kids for an entire weekend in an apartment I've lived in for 3 weeks. One of Daniel's kids started crying. The other 2 looked scared. I felt a little bad about that, but not bad enough to stop. "Look, sis, I'm sorry about what happened," Daniel said, trying to shift gears. "But this is an emergency. Emily's mom needs us." "That's not my emergency," I said. "You have other options. You have friends. You can hire a babysitter. You can take them with you. What you can't do is dump them on me without asking, and then act like I'm the A for saying no." "So, you're seriously going to turn your back on family?" Daniel said, getting pissed now. "After everything we've done for you?" I actually laughed. I couldn't help it. "Everything you've done for me? Name one thing. One single thing any of you have done for me in the past 5 years that wasn't using me as free childcare." Silence. "That's what I thought," I said. "Now take your kids and leave. I have plans." I didn't have plans. I was going to order pizza and play video games all weekend, but that's my business. "You're being a real dick right now," Daniel said. "Yeah, well, you've been a dick for 5 years. I'm just evening the score." The next day, I woke up to 47 text messages and 13 missed calls. The family group chat was an absolute war zone. My mom started it. "Mom, your brother told me what happened yesterday. I'm very disappointed in you. Family helps family, and you turned your back on them in their time of need." "Jenna, seriously, you couldn't watch the kids for 1 weekend? They're your nephews and niece. This is what family does." Derek, "Not cool, sis. Daniel and Emily had a real emergency, and you just shut the door in their face." I let them go off for about an hour. Just sat there drinking my coffee, watching the messages pile up. Then I responded, "Me? Me? Let me make sure I understand this correctly. When I needed a place to stay for 1 week, All of you had excuses. Too cramped, too stressful, not enough space, need your privacy. But now I'm expected to drop everything and watch 3 kids for an entire weekend without being asked, without any advance notice. Make it make sense. Daniel, that was different. We had valid reasons. Me. And I have valid reasons now. I don't want to. I wasn't asked. I'm not available. All valid. Mom, this isn't about keeping score. This is about being there for family when they need you. Me. You're absolutely right, Mom. It's not about keeping score, which is why I'm sure you kept track of all those holidays where I spent the entire time watching everyone's kids while you all socialized, or all those times I changed diapers and refereed fights and missed family dinners because I was stuck with children that weren't mine. You kept track of all that, right? To make sure it wasn't one-sided. No response to that. Me. Here's the thing. For 5 years, I have been the free babysitter for this family. Every holiday, every birthday, every random weekend, I got volunteered to watch kids. I never complained. I showed up. I helped. And the one time I needed something back, all of you had excuses. You taught me exactly how much I mattered to this family. So, congratulations. The lesson stuck. Jenna, we're sorry about what happened with your apartment, but you can't hold that against us forever. Me. I'm not holding it against you forever. I'm just matching your energy. You made it clear that helping me wasn't a priority, so helping you isn't my priority either. That's called boundaries. Look it up. Dad, you need to grow up and stop being petty. Me. Dad, with all due respect, you told me I needed to handle adult responsibilities on my own when I was sleeping in my car, so I'm doing exactly that. I'm handling my own responsibilities, and my responsibility is not being everyone's free childcare. I muted the group chat after that. Didn't want to see whatever else they had to say. Over the next week, I got individual texts from everyone trying different approaches. Daniel tried apologizing. Look, I know we should have helped you when you needed it. That was wrong, but this doesn't fix anything. It just makes everything worse. I responded, you're right. It doesn't fix anything. But I'm not trying to fix things. I'm trying to protect my peace. Jenna tried the emotional route. The kids keep asking about you. They miss their aunt. You're punishing them for something that isn't their fault. I responded, I'm not punishing anyone. I'm just not available anymore. You can explain to them that Aunt Thelma has her own life and can't drop everything to babysit anymore. Might be a good lesson for them, actually. Derek tried logic. If you keep this up, you're going to destroy the family dynamic. I responded, Derek, the family dynamic was destroyed the moment you all decided my time, my needs, and my problems didn't matter because I don't have kids. I'm just acknowledging reality. My mom tried guilt. You're breaking my heart. I raised you to be better than this. That one stung a bit, not going to lie, but I responded anyway. You raised me to be helpful and reliable. I was for 5 years. I was there whenever anyone needed anything, but you also raised me to have self-respect, and I'm choosing to respect myself enough not to let people take advantage of me anymore. My dad sent one text, you're being childish. I didn't respond to that one. The real kicker came 2 weeks later when Derek had this event at his kid's school, some father-daughter dance thing. He texted me asking if I'd come take pictures since he wasn't good with the camera. I sent back, hire a photographer, Google portrait photography plus your city, plenty of options. He responded, dude, seriously, I'm asking for a favor. Me. And I'm saying no, just like you said no when I asked for a favor. Feels bad, doesn't it? The family group chat got reactivated after that. More messages about how I was being unreasonable, how I was making everything about me, how I needed to let go of the past and move forward. My mom sent a long message about how families have disagreements, but we work through them, and how holding grudges only hurts yourself in the end. I finally sent one last message to the group. Me. I want to be very clear about something. This is not a grudge. This is not me being petty or holding on to anger. This is me establishing boundaries that should have existed all along. For 5 years, I was treated as the backup childcare plan. My time was not valued, my life was not respected, and when I needed help, I was told to grow up and handle it myself. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm handling my own life. That means I'm no longer available for last-minute babysitting. I'm no longer available to have my holidays ruined by watching kids. I'm no longer available to be the default plan when you need a break. If you want me to watch your kids, you need to ask me in advance. Respect it if I say no. And if I say yes, it comes with a rate. $25 per hour per child with a 4-hour minimum. Those are my boundaries. You can accept them or not, but I'm done being taken advantage of. If that makes me the villain in your story, I can live with that. Radio silence for about 10 minutes, then. Daniel, you're seriously going to charge your own family to babysit? Me. You're seriously going to expect me to provide free labor indefinitely? Babysitters get paid. You want childcare? You pay for childcare. Family discount is that I'm available. Regular price for everyone else is $35 per hour. Jenna, this is insane. Family doesn't charge family. Me. Family also doesn't abandon family when they need a place to sleep. But here we are. Mom, I can't believe you're putting a price on spending time with your nieces and nephews. Me. I'm not. If you want to invite me over for a family dinner where everyone hangs out together, I'm there. If you want me to take the kids to the park or the zoo or a movie as their aunt, cool. Let's plan something. But if you want to hand me your children and disappear for hours while I provide childcare services, that's a job. And jobs get paid. This isn't complicated. The argument went on for a bit longer, but I stopped engaging. I'd said what I needed to say. Either they'd respect my boundaries or they wouldn't. Either way, I was done being a doormat. 3 months have passed since then. The family dynamics are weird now. I still get invited to things, but there's this tension. I show up, I'm cordial, I say hi to the kids, but the second someone tries to hand me a child and walk away, I hand them back. Can you watch Lily while I help in the kitchen? Nope, I'm watching the game. Can you take Mason outside for a bit? He's your kid, not mine. The awkwardness is real, but you know what? I'm sleeping great at night. My weekends are my own. My holidays are actually enjoyable now. I'm not covered in puke or breaking up toddler fights or missing dinner because I'm stuck in a room with children. Last week was my birthday. I had a quiet celebration with some friends, people who actually give a crap about me. My family sent texts. My mom tried to guilt me into coming over for a family celebration, which I know would have ended with me watching kids while everyone else partied. I declined politely. Thanks, but I have plans. She asked, what plans? I told her it was none of her business, but I was spending my birthday doing what I wanted with people who respected me. She didn't respond. Daniel texted me yesterday, said Emily's mom, who apparently fully recovered from her hip injury, is coming to visit, and they needed someone to watch the kids for an evening so they could take her out to dinner. I know things have been weird, but we really need help with this. It's important to Emily. I sent back my rate, $25 per hour per child, 4-hour minimum, payment upfront via Venmo. He responded, "You're actually serious about this?" Dead serious. That's $300 for 4 hours? That's insane. That's $300 for me to handle 3 children, who I didn't create while you enjoy a nice dinner. It's the same rate any babysitting service would charge for 3 kids. Actually, it's cheaper since most services would charge $30 to $35 per hour for multiple children. So really, you're getting the family discount. This is messed up. What's messed up is expecting free labor from family while refusing to help that same family when they're literally homeless. But sure, I'm the problem. He didn't respond after that. Here's the thing that Reddit needs to understand. I don't hate my family. I don't even hate my nieces and nephews. They're kids. They didn't do anything wrong. But I'm done being the person everyone dumps their responsibilities on while simultaneously being told my own problems don't matter. Update. A few people asked if there's been any development, so here's a quick update. Last week was Thanksgiving, the first one since all this went down. I got the invite from my mom and honestly debated not going at all, but I decided to show up because despite everything, I do miss the family sometimes, or at least the idea of what family should be. I drove over to my parents' house and the atmosphere was freaking weird from the moment I walked in, like everyone was being overly polite and careful about what they said. Derek and Vanessa were already there with their kid. Daniel and Emily showed up about 20 minutes after me with their 3. The kids ran up to me all excited, "Aunt Thelma! Aunt Thelma!" They wanted to show me their new toys and tell me about school. That part was actually nice. I genuinely like my nieces and nephews. They're good kids. It's their parents who are the problem. But here's where it got interesting. Around 3:00 p.m., right before dinner was supposed to be ready, Jenna handed her youngest to me. Just straight up handed me this 2-year-old and started walking toward the kitchen. I handed him right back. Nope. She looked at me like I just kicked her dog. What do you mean, nope? I mean, I'm not watching your kid. You want to hang out? Great. You want childcare? That costs money. The entire room went silent. Football games still playing on TV. but everyone stopped what they were doing to watch this unfold. Are you seriously doing this right now? Jenna said. On Thanksgiving? Are you seriously trying to dump your kid on me right now? I shot back. On Thanksgiving? My dad stood up. All right, that's enough. We're not doing this today. Doing what? I said. Boundaries? Having self-respect? Which part are we not doing? Your sister needs help with the kids so we can get dinner ready, my mom chimed in from the kitchen doorway. Why do you have to make everything so difficult? Why does my time not matter? I said. Everyone else gets to enjoy the holiday and relax, but I'm supposed to be on kid duty for free every single time. Daniel, always helpful, added, Sis, it's one day. Stop being so uptight about it. It's not one day, Daniel. It's 5 years of days. Every holiday, every family gathering, every time any of you need anything. And the moment I needed something back, you all had excuses. Emily muttered something to Daniel about me being overdramatic. I heard it. Emily, I said, I slept in my car in February for 3 nights because your husband and his family couldn't let me use a couch. But sure, I'm overdramatic. That shut her up quick. Derek tried to play peacekeeper. Look, nobody's perfect. We all made mistakes. Can't we just move past it? I have moved past it, I said. I'm past the point of being taken advantage of. If you want to move past it too, then stop expecting me to be free childcare. Enough. My dad's voice boomed through the room. We are not ruining Thanksgiving over this nonsense. You're going to sit down, we're going to have dinner as a family, and you're going to stop acting like a child. I stood up and grabbed my jacket. Nah, I'm good. I'm going to go have Thanksgiving with people who actually appreciate me. You guys enjoy your holiday. As I was walking out, my mom was crying. My siblings were yelling over each other. My dad was doing his disappointed authority figure routine. The kids were confused and upset, and honestly, I felt bad about that part. The kids didn't deserve to see that. But I'm not apologizing for having boundaries. I'm not apologizing for refusing to be exploited. And I'm definitely not apologizing for walking away from a situation where my basic dignity and respect as a person is treated as optional. I ended up going to my buddy Kyle's Friendsgiving. His girlfriend's family does this big potluck thing, and they're genuinely awesome people. Spent the evening with people who actually like having me around for who I am, not what I can do for them. Had some great food, played games, laughed. It was the best Thanksgiving I've had in years. My phone was blowing up all night. Eventually, I turned it off. The next day, I woke up to a novel-length text from my mom about how I ruined Thanksgiving and hurt everyone's feelings, and how family is supposed to forgive and move forward. I sent back, family is also supposed to help each other in times of need, but I learned from you that conditions and exceptions apply. I'm just following your lead. If you want to move forward, then treat me like a person instead of free labor. Until then, I'm good with where things stand. Haven't heard back yet, don't really expect to. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube, this video deserves to blow up.